This is not what I ever saw myself doing. I am a person who loves to help people, and they come over to my house and we sit on my couch and they share their burdens, and I share with them what I have learned from my healing journey. This is my family. It's the only picture that I had with our newest baby. So we have 8 kids, and this daughter was mad. She didn't want to be it. But my husband is a psychologist, and I have dabbled in many different things. I'm a nutritional herbologist through the School of Natural Healing. I've studied some homeopathy. Somatic experiencing is something that my husband uses a lot in his practice. I'm an emotion certified energy healer. But I don't do that. I do it because I love it, and people just come over. It's not my profession. I am a homeschooling mom, and that's my main calling. I'm really terrified. This is my first presentation. I'm going to try and pretend that you're just on my couch. And I need to stop saying If there is one thing, this is going to be including all health, mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical. So I am going to be talking about my journey, and of utmost importance, this is not what I always had, was listen for God's voice in everything you do and everywhere you go. He is the one that will keep you on track. If you have difficulty discerning God's voice between your voice and the negative voices in your head, that is probably paramount to anything else you can do to begin your healing. Because when God is your guide, you will know and be led to the different things to help you heal. I don't know her. There is a woman named Charlotte Barble, and her class right after this is called, I think it's Listening for the Voice of God or something. So if that's something that you feel led to, I would highly suggest that. Oh, let me back up a minute quick. This is something I've just learned. When God gives you a command, it's one command. It's usually, go do this, forgive this person, you need to do this right now. And I can better recognize that because generally there are negative voices and you get a barrage of them. For example, you need to go fix dinner for your neighbors. I don't have time. I don't know how to fix it for my own family. And you get just all these negative, that should alert you that whatever that command was, follow it immediately. And as you do that, you will better discern the voice of God. And it will literally, in my own experience, the voice of God has become louder for me. And those negative voices are more quiet. And so I can better see where I need to go and what I need to do. My 16-year-old daughter helped me create this. It was in my head. I know a lot of people have this, but it does show the perfect 4 areas of health. This is reality. We're in all various different stages of growth. What I want to bring out here is I think there's a 5th element, and that is our vitality or our energy. And it is only allowed to shine as brightly as our weakest element. And that's why it's so important to try to be balanced. And the more that we heal, the more that we grow, the more our light can shine. And this clearly is what we want to try to attain, is that our vitality and our light can be so bright. And I think probably we all know people like that, who have that and can just exude light. My healing journey started in 2009. I was in a very, very bad place. Well, you can see by the words that I've written here. I was a harsh, controlling, mentally unstable mother. I had 5 children at home, and I had just decided to homeschool. Not a great environment for them or for me. People say if you homeschool, the first year is the worst. It was probably worse because it was me. I had depression, hopelessness, lots and lots of anger and rage. proud, unrepentant, unforgiving. I mean, you can read it. What had happened to me was I had tried for so many years to do everything with willpower. And I was like this man, constantly shooting at the target, trying to hit my aim, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I'd say, I'm gonna do this, and I'd have everything behind me. I really want this, I know it's right, I need to do this, whether it was changing my eating habits, or not yelling at my kids, or whatever it was, and then I'd fail. And then I'd fail. And then I'd fail again. I got to the point, I did this with the picture on purpose, that I was upside down. I wasn't even near that summit. I wasn't even close. I was cynical. These are all low vibration emotions. And I was so, I could start to identify with the mothers that do horrible things to their children. I never wanted to do that. I didn't think that I ever would. But that's the point where I was at. Because I could identify with it. Because I thought I was so detrimental to them that they would be better off without me. I knew what the goal was. It was this. It was hopeless. Are you kidding me? I would rather sit in my closet and eat the symphony bars. I kid you not, my husband would buy me stacks of symphony bars and I would eat one every day. Sometimes two. Because I just couldn't deal with it. I was very, very toxic. That was impossible. And I didn't want to hear about anyone who was happy. I would have driven myself nuts now. What I've learned as I've looked back through my healing journey, the very first step, and I don't want you to think that this is just about food, in any of those 4 realms, physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, the very first step is to nourish yourself. With the voice of God, it will let you know where you need to start nourishing yourself. The next step is to strengthen. When you nourish, people know this physically, right? You start giving somebody the nutrition that they need, they strengthen, and then they have not the willpower, they have the ability to cleanse. They can withstand it. My problem was all those times that I tried, I didn't have the strength to sustain what I was trying to do. That's why I failed. Was because I hadn't nourished myself to be able to withstand that kind of longevity. It's like trying to sprint for a mile race. I just couldn't do it. I picked this on purpose because cleansing is hard work. Right? Who wants to do their laundry like this? But to get those things out of our lives, we have to cleanse. And we have to have the strength. So I bet those ladies put a good muscle there. Cleanse out those things. And then we can start to heal. So as I share my story, I want you to try and see where I nourished myself, where I became stronger, and where I started to cleanse. And then moved on to healing. Raising my vibration, I'm talking about low vibration where I was down in the pit, to high vibration, love, peace, joy, enlightenment. How I got closer and closer. Nourish, strengthen, cleanse, heal. And that is the pattern. I want you to say it with me, okay? Because I want this to get into your head. So when you start having a problem, you're like, nourish, strengthen, cleanse, heal. Nourish, strengthen, cleanse, heal. Nourish, strengthen, cleanse, heal. Okay? Remember that. Keep saying that to yourself. I keep saying, I kid you not, I just learned this last week. As I looked back and I prayed so much, I'm like, what do you want me to say to people? Because I feel like I'm supposed to be here, and my source wants me to be here. And I wanted him to share I want to share what he wants you to hear. I have prayed you here. Each and every one of you. And I don't know you, but that's what I have been praying for the last 6 weeks of my life, is that I can know what message he wants me to send to you to help you in your healing. This is what he wants you to know. Nourish yourselves. Don't try to cleanse first. That's what means failure and sadness and grief. Give yourself this first and you'll gain strength, and then you can do it. My job is to give you the courage to heal, and you can. And this is the way that you do it. Okay? Oh, I love you guys. Okay. So my story. Whoops, you're not supposed to see that. I don't have any slides for this. And this is the part that he told me I have to be vulnerable and let you know what my... Okay, so 2009. I was diagnosed with leaky gut syndrome. And in it, a naturopath came over and he said, "You're totally toxic. You need to start changing your eating habits." Bar of chocolate a day, I do that. I don't even want to try it. A few weeks later, I was led to a website, an herbal website that talked about the School of Natural Healing. And I got excited because I've always been interested in natural things. And I started taking a class called the Family Herbalist. And it taught me things that were logical and they made sense. And I nourished my mind. And I started to be able to have the strength to change my diet. And I'm talking change my diet. We became vegans. I started taking like 30 herbal supplements that I capsulized myself and do, and I feed them to my family. And as I did that, as I cleansed and started getting the toxins out of my body, I started to be able to hear, have mental clarity. And I started to hear the negative voices in my head. Up until that time, my voice and the negative voices were synonymous. They didn't even have to work hard because I said it to myself all the time, that I was a failure, that I was worthless, that I deserved to be punished. I went through this cycle of I make a mistake, punish myself, self-abuse, remove myself from God, see that I was literally creating havoc and misery in my home, repent and come back to my God, and then go through the cycle again. And spend sometimes months, years in that cycle down here instead of up here where I needed to be. As I started to recognize the voices and how negatively were, I thought, am I really worthless? That's what I feel like. But is that truth? Is that God's reality? Or is that what I believe? And then I studied holistic iridology. And what I loved from iridology is the study of the irises. What I loved from his holistic iridology is that he teaches you about your beliefs and how you manifest them. And I realized that I believed that my actions were dependent upon, my worth was dependent upon my actions. And I believed that I deserved to be punished, that I didn't deserve to be forgiven, that somehow the atonement was something that I had to earn. And this is over several months. This isn't like, change my diet every day. So it's a journey. Several months of pondering and praying and thinking about it. And I realized that there was one event when I was young that is where I took those beliefs from. That my worth depended upon my actions. And that I deserved to be punished. This particular event, I was just being disobedient. And I knew it in my mind. I knew that I was choosing to do something different that I hadn't been asked to do that was better, that was a good thing, and that somehow made it okay that I wasn't doing what I'd been asked to do. And I'd been asked for like 2 or 3 days to do this particular thing. And I received a really, really severe beating. And instead of, to make sense of that and how horrific, how hard it was, those are the beliefs that I took, that my actions, my worth was dependent upon my actions and that I deserved to be punished. And they were hard, set, fast. I was, I don't even know how old I was in 2009, I was probably like 35 or something. So from the time I was young till then, I had believed these things, and it was a constant testament to me that every time I failed, I was worthless, proving to myself this. I realized that that event defined me, and that as long as I remained a victim to that event, I would forever be worthless. And I knew that I had to forgive to be set free from that. But first, I had to acknowledge the anger, which I had never done because I'd always blamed myself. And it was probably 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I woke up one night, and the weight of it, literally, I could not deal with it anymore. And I had just learned a technique called tapping, or EFT. And this modality, you tap on your acupressure points or acupuncture points where your meridians cross, and it brings your mind and your body, your spirit together, and you verbally say things. And I had just learned the power of being able to say, I choose. I choose to forgive. And so I did this. And I did it for probably a good hour or two, literally just sobbing and letting go of the weight and the sorrow. I still have sorrow. I realize that as I told the story lately, that there's still some grief that I have not been able to completely give up. But the anger is gone. And I realized, I'm so grateful to have it gone and to be free. I just kept saying, I don't want this to define me. I choose not to let this define me. I choose to become a different person. And I realized as I forgave that I was angry at God, because I believed God hadn't protected me. God had betrayed me. And so I started tapping again. And I chose to forgive God. And as I tapped, He opened up my mind to see it again as a viewer. And I saw that an angel was holding me, cushioning me. And he did not leave me alone. For the first time in my adult life, I knew that I was of worth. I knew that God did love me. And had I chosen not to forgive and not move through that, I never would have realized that underneath it was this distance from God, that there was a reason that I felt like I needed to be punished and that I blamed God. And so instead of being a victim, I became a victor. And I became free from this to no longer define who I was. To realize God loved me even if I did sit on the couch all day and eat chocolate. But then now I had the strength to start doing more than that and to start becoming the person who I knew I could be. So the very first step was that I mentally started feeding myself. It nourished my brain. I love that picture. I thought it was really good. And it gave sight. The next is that I physically nourished myself. I started eating whole foods. I'm not a vegan anymore, just so you know. I but we do try to eat as naturally as possible. And this, I really love this quote. To a significant degree, we are an overfed and undernourished nation, digging an early grave with our teeth and lacking the energy that could be ours because we overindulge in junk foods. This was back in '79, but today we have such a highly processed diet and nutrient deficient. Even our farming practices, the food that we eat today is not as nutrient dense as it was. We are literally starving to death with full bellies. So if you haven't looked at your eating habits, if you don't have the strength yet to change them, start nourishing your mind so you can understand why it's important. That's what I had to do. It will bring mental clarity, cleansing out those toxins. We can't think. I couldn't think. And I couldn't believe the fog that lifted. And I couldn't believe that when I would eat processed food, how much it affected me the next morning. I'd wake up with postnasal congestion, I'd have foggy thinking, I'd be tired, and I wouldn't want to get up. It really, our food is so important to nourish our bodies. This is something that's hard, is to truly accept how we feel. I didn't want to accept that I felt worthless. I knew in my head it wasn't true, but that is what I felt, that is what I believed. And until we feel the sensations that accompany the emotions, they can't leave. If you talk about something that's in the past and you think you've forgiven and you still feel angry when you talk about it, it's not gone. And somatic experiencing, I don't have enough time to talk about all of the different modalities here, but somatic experiencing is something that my husband does, and it is phenomenal. And it is that a lot of people are familiar with energy healing and have trapped emotions, these things that I'm talking about. Our guts actually start with a sensation, and then they're sent to our brains, and our brains interpret them. For example, a person who is getting ready to do a basketball game and they're hyped and they're feeling it. Here they feel their heart beating and the chest is burning. Like, yeah. And then you have someone who has a panic attack. Same sensations, heart beating, they're breathing, the burning in their chest. Same sensation, your brain interprets it differently. And we can teach our brains that sensations are dangerous. And our body will shut them down before we even know it. And that can cause pain and trauma. Somatic experiencing is really amazing because it's a body-based approach. You don't even have to go talk about your trauma. You sense it. There can be movements, like I was in a car accident, and movements that are there that were self-protective, that your brain sent the message but didn't do, whether because it's not okay to hit someone or because there's not enough time if it's a car accident, that can literally cause pain in your body. So it's really a fascinating therapy. My beliefs that I deserved punishment and that my worth was tied to my actions did not match what I knew of God's reality. It was like, I love this, because this perfectly explains it. A myth is a fixed way of looking at the world, which cannot be destroyed, because looked at through the myth, all evidence supports the myth. I kept failing, therefore I was a failure. And I created my own little snow globe and my own little reality with my beliefs that limited me, that I couldn't get out of. I knew that God's reality was different, but I just couldn't bust out of that. When someone realizes they can make the choice of what they believe, it's incredible. Through this, I used to believe I was not a nurturing mother. So what did I create? I was harsh, I was controlling, I yelled a lot. I'm getting better at that, not yelling so much. But it's because I believed that I wasn't nurturing. And when I realized I had a choice, and that I was creating that, I became empowered to change it. I hated those stupid math tests that you get timed out when you're a kid. And I would say this all the time, I can't do math. As an adult, realizing this, I'm like, I can't do math. I'm intelligent. I just hate doing it under pressure. My mind shuts off because I get scared because of those stupid tests. Again, a stupid trauma that is still affecting me and defining who I am today. So break through that snow globe. Who wants to be this guy, right? When we say, but I shouldn't be angry, or I don't want to feel that, or guess what? It's already there. And if you don't feel it, it can't leave. That could be the sensation in your chest. How about grief and sorrow? Think about it when you have a hard time swallowing. It's a sensation in your throat. Do your fists. Those are all body movements that help us, that energy needs to get out. So feel the sensations. I didn't want to feel this, but I had to, so it could go. And this is something I have learned, and it's not true in every situation, but when we are unjustly wronged, when we have done nothing wrong and we are a victim completely, the atonement justifies us. We want to make somebody pay, right? Because we didn't do anything wrong. Guess what? Somebody did pay. And he says to us, you're justified in being mad. You have every right to be angry. Don't let it stay within you, though. Let me cleanse it from you. Feel it, let it go, and wouldn't we all rather get this pretty lady? Clean, washed clean, and gone. And that's how simple it is. Feel it, acknowledge it, let it go. And he takes it. But not if but I still really want to get back to that person. It's been paid for. Forgiveness is not about the other person, ever. It's about me. It's about you. It has nothing to do with them. That's what I realized from that experience. And the beauty from that came is I saw that person differently once I forgave them. I could see that person and love that person and see the weaknesses and the beauty in that person. And recognize the great things that that person did for me in my life. This is also extremely important. Weakness is not sin. It's not. Weakness can lead to sin, but weakness is given to us by God on purpose so that we rely on him and not on our willpower. Remember all my failed attempts? Failing. It was my willpower that I was trying to do. When I rely on God, I can do it. I love that. Weakness is not sin. It's like hating myself for having brown hair. He gave us weakness on purpose. I didn't prepare for this, but I'm going to do it really quick. There is a friend of mine. She just posted this yesterday. And so I'm sorry that I'm taking the time to do this. This woman, out of everyone that I know in my life, has suffered the most horrific abuse that you could possibly imagine. And this is what she wrote yesterday on her page on Facebook. I wanted to have a picture up here. She creates art to help her heal. And she had created some woven wire hearts. And this is what she wrote. Keep in mind, this person did not deserve what happened to her. And when I tell you it was horrific, it was horrific. I cannot imagine this happening to another human being. Love is seldom perfectly straight with no curves or twists. Love is seldom all one color or all one size. Love is interconnected. Sometimes love smiles. Sometimes it is painful. We choose how we weave the pieces together within our relationships. We choose whether to open a connection or not. We choose what we do with woven pieces. We choose to either weave love within our hearts or weave hate. We also choose whether or not to let go of relationships that are harmful. We choose whether we weave love or pain. I choose love. I choose allowing my Heavenly Father, through His Son, Jesus Christ, to guard my heart. She is one of the most uplifting, amazing people that I know. She's a charismatic Christian. And praise Jesus. That's my friend. And she has taught me so much through her healing and her journey. So, forgiveness, that's the goal. Once you forgive, you get to have this. And I don't know if any of you are down in that pit, but the beauty is once you get out of it a little bit and you start doing nourish, strengthen, cleanse, heal, you're going to have another mountain to climb. But you don't have to start from the very bottom again, because your vibration has raised. And you can recognize that you have the strength to do it and keep moving. So nourish, strengthen, cleanse, heal. That's what get to the top of it. Get vitality, let that light shine through you.
Hi, I'm so glad that you were able to listen and hear this presentation about the important steps of Nourish, Strengthen, Cleanse, Heal. I wanted to make you aware of something that I shared with everyone there at the Person Preparedness Expo, and it actually started me on my journey to presenting, and that is a supplement called MMF, or the micronutrient formulation. I truly believe that God led me to it to help me have the mental clarity that I need, the energy, and the nutrition that my body was lacking. I am a whole foods, plant-based diet person, and I was really shocked at how different I felt when I started taking it. I want to share it with those that are meant to take it. It is just micronutrition. There's no drugs, there are no weird ingredients, it's just nutrition. And the amazing thing about it is that it is broken down, pre-metabolized to the molecular structure rather that is in your cells right now. It's identical to what's found in nature, and it does not need to be digested to be used by your body. It can literally go straight into your bloodstream and be used. So if you are interested in learning more about that, I have created a group called Crazy Herb Girl on Facebook, and you just ask to join, and you can join that. There's a lot of files on there, testimonials from people that have used it, that have found it very helpful for them. And I have some basic information on my website, crazyherbgirl.com. So if you want to learn more about it, I would love to share it with you. It also has a business opportunity if that interests you at all. If you want to take it, I will give you $20 back if you sign up for the auto ship for the first month. I'll PayPal you the $20 so that you can have a discount on that first month's price, which is $65 to let you know. And for 2 boxes for 1 month is $120, so there's a slight savings there. So thanks so much for stopping by, and God bless.